This man needs no introduction, to be honest. He loves chatbots, content, and unicorns. You still couldn't guess who I'm talking about? I'm talking about Mobile Monkey's CEO, Larry Kim. He has played a pivotal role in managing ad campaigns as well as using growth marketing techniques to increase the scalability of a business. So come join me in welcoming Larry Unicorn Kim. So here's our next marvel, Larry Unicorn Kim. So welcome to the podcast, Larry. This is called the Social Media Marvel. So now we know for a fact that your love for unicorns is unparalleled. But why are you so fascinated with the creature? Is it the multicoloredness of the creature, or do you like the shine it brings?
Sure. Look, I know unicorns are very trendy right now, and Starbucks and everyone is using unicorns. But I've been really excited for unicorns like long before this, over 10 years ago. And the reason was it was just a metaphor for marketing. What I've observed in marketing is that most of your blog posts, most of your ads, most of them are kind of unremarkable and go nowhere, but a few of them, like 1 or 2% of them, do really, really well. And so the whole unicorn stuff was just a metaphor for trying to find the remarkable campaigns like in your marketing efforts. It's been really great because I think if you're trying to build a personal brand, and it helps to have kind of a gimmick that helps people remember what you were talking about. And even though I didn't necessarily intend it to be that way initially, I think that this donkeys and unicorns analogies have been really well received, and mostly responsible for the personal brand that I've been able to build today.
So you're more so towards the X factor that a brand can give out to its customers or potential audience. That's what you relate the unicorn to.
Something rare and remarkable and very special. I'm sure you've noticed that when you do all your different video podcasts, some of them do great and some of them, not as well. I've noticed that across all marketing channels. And I just used this unicorn metaphor to describe that.
So we know WordStream has done extremely well, but was it your first venture in digital marketing, or did you pursue something else before WordStream going so big?
That was my first venture in marketing. Before that, I was doing software development and product management, it was just unrelated to marketing. But I think when you think about successful entrepreneurs and founders of companies, one thing they have in common is that I think they need to have domain expertise in different areas. Just because you're a really great marketer, it doesn't mean you're going to be a successful software company. You know what I mean? I think what was like the combination of being able to have some experience building software and also being able to learn marketing was sort of the key.
So it was an informed choice or an informed shift from developing software to getting into strategy.
Yeah. Well, it's a journey, and you just do whatever the company needs you to do. And initially, you have to build something, so all the effort is being focused into product design and product development. But later on, once you have the product that you want to sell, you need to attract customers. And so, I would say the first half of my journey at this company in WordStream was more in product and engineering, and the second half was more just like marketing, because it's sort of a normal company life cycle.
So you believe in creating an excellent product first and then try and market it and make it big.
Yeah, usually that's the way the most successful companies work. There's a few exceptions, but um, yeah, I think that makes more sense.
Yeah. So we know that you like Facebook chatbots, Facebook messengers, but what are the other social media platforms that you like working with?
You know, one platform I use a lot is LinkedIn. Like if you just look at my LinkedIn feed, you know, I think I have almost 100,000 followers on that platform, and it's a really stupid platform from an algorithmic perspective. It's very easy to generate enormous engagement because I think all the newsfeed is doing there is looking for like likes and comments. It's you know very simple to just post content that gets hundreds of thousands of views or millions of views. Just if you just look at my LinkedIn personal page, you can kind of figure out how I do that. A couple other platforms that I still use. One is Twitter. Twitter, it's very difficult for someone new to break into Twitter, but I think that what's happening is they're changing their algorithms to favor, because there's so much fake news and all this stuff. I think they're favoring larger accounts. So if you already have a large account, I think what you might find is that it's easier to generate a lot of engagement because I think the Twitter algorithm favors more authoritative accounts. Like if you look through my Twitter feed, generally these posts get like
500, 200 likes and retweets minimum.
exactly, and so I think Twitter is one of these platforms where it's very difficult to start today, but if you happen to have like an old account that you were active in previously, like I would definitely consider reactivating that. It's just another channel. Another one that I do a lot on is Medium. Medium is just like a blog. A social, it's kind of like Twitter, but instead of posting short form content, you're posting long form content like blog posts. And uh, you know uh, I'm like the number eighth most popular author on that platform. And again, it's not necessarily because I'm the greatest author in the world. It's just because that algorithm is not very complicated. It's doing is looking for claps or hearts, like just positive reactions. And so if you have a way to generate those claps, like sending out an email to your fans, about your new content, I think you'll find that it's very easy to get exposure on those platforms. So those are of course, as you mentioned, I love messaging like Facebook Messenger using Mobile Monkey, and I do a lot of online advertising, but those are some of the channels that I focus on these days.
So, in terms of engagement, you just study the algorithm that the social media platform supports, and then you sort of play around with the algorithm, and also in terms of content that you produce and post it on the social platform.
Yeah, I don't think I'm the most remarkable person. I don't think I have the greatest ideas or anything. I think all I do is I have sort of an engineering, approach to marketing. I just, look at the algorithms and I just, whether it's SEO or AdWords or Facebook ads, these are all just machine learning computer systems, and they need to determine like how much your ad costs or who to show your ad to, or how frequently should they show it to, or how much free exposure should it generate. Like these are just simple inputs and outputs, and if you can spend the time to kind of research and do experiments, I think you'll find it's very simple to crack some of these algorithms. And if you can observe how they work, you can get enormous exposure on platforms like YouTube or Instagram or LinkedIn, and it's actually not as complicated as you think it is. It's mostly based on just user engagement, and then once you've conquered one of your channels, like say you're really 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 good at LinkedIn or something like this. the next channel that you go after will be easier because you'll have sort of um, an active channel that you can use to generate the engagement on the new marketing channel. Does that make sense?
So, do you also train people or companies or clients to understand these algorithms and increase their engagement, or are those some secret hacks that you have under your belt?
Oh no, I'm an open book. I do a lot of blogging on all of my crazy experiments, and if you want to know how to get featured snippets, or if you want to know how to reduce your ad costs, like these are all, I mean, the whole reason why I have a personal brand and a following of millions of users is just it's just because I do a lot of experiments and then I publish the results on my blog, and there's a lot of great insights, like in terms of how to 10x your click-through rates, or how to get those featured snippets in SEO. Just follow my content, and you know there's we give away every secret.
True. I mean, it's always easier that somebody does the dirty work for you and you just have to interpret the results. So, yeah. And now I know why so many people follow you.
It's just like pick a channel and I can tell you, like, how that algorithm works. I mean, there's a lot of like like
Let's take Instagram, for example, because right now Instagram is booming with the video content and the IGTV and all the algorithms it's changing. Maybe.
so like the problem. So one challenge is, like, I don't do a lot. I haven't invested a lot in video content. So, like, I would say like YouTube and Instagram are still kind of a mystery to me. But like if you pick any other ones like SEO or something like this, like like there's definitely you know new changes in those algorithms.
So, do you refer to some other blog posts or some authors to stay updated with the algorithms, or do you follow some podcasts?
You know what? I don't read anyone's stuff. The reason is because, like, I'm kind of trying to run experiments, and I don't want to be biased by like what other experts say. Especially, like, if Google says something or if Facebook says something, like, they're not going to give away the secrets. You know what I mean? So, like, you shouldn't really trust any of that. General. What they're saying. You should validate and experiment for yourself. Yeah, yeah. Usually my experience is usually the experts are wrong. So, like, usually the conventional wisdom, you know, uh, it's usually correct, but a little outdated by, like, 5 to 10 years. So like, for example, in SEO, one of the really important signals are like user engagement signals, like click-through rates and brand signals. But I just think like these you know the industry hasn't really figured that out yet.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's with social media and with SEO especially, even though things are tangible, you have CTR, you have PPC, you have the cost per clicks and everything, CPC, but still, it's always a mystery because it's a miss and hit, because even the people who are implementing these strategies or experiments per se, they're doing A/B testing. So basically for them, it's an everyday process. Whatever fetches the best results, that's good enough for us. It may not work for the next quarter. So yeah, it is still a mystery, and businesses haven't been able to figure it out properly yet.
Um, yeah, in general, all of these platforms, whether it's online advertising or social media networks or Google paid or organic search, these are all machine learning systems. Okay, and all of these systems require feedback to determine if the content that was being served is interesting or not. So usually there's like some form of positive and negative engagement. So, like, positive engagement would be like, very high click-through rates, but a negative engagement would be like very high bounce rate. So, like, the key is just to create content or ads that have a very, very high click-through rates usually, and there's ways to do this using like these catchy titles, and also ways to reduce your bounce rates. For example, using pop-ups and all sorts of other longer form content, for example. Um, Generally it's something to do with trying to improve your positive engagement and reducing your negative engagement.
So you work in the realm of growth marketing. You all these ads or Facebook chatbots and everything is related to increasing growth of any business or any client. So if you had to mention what is growth marketing in three phrases, what would those be?
So, growth marketing. So I think number one, you need a sort of a you need the bait. You need the hook, the really catchy idea. Okay, like most of these ideas are unremarkable, but a few of your ideas will be really, really great. Like for example, in software, um, a product could have 500 features, but only one of the features people actually use. Like think about Google. They've got tons and tons of products and companies, but like the thing that everyone uses is just AdWords and Google search. You see what I'm saying? So phase one is you need an idea that's like so catchy, and that people think is going to be great. And phase two, you need a channel. Okay, so just having a great idea, that's not enough. You need a kind of a distribution channel to get people to use your product. So, for example, I don't know, you could maybe package your product as a WordPress plugin, or maybe you could offer uh, you know uh, you know bundle it with some other product. Like you need some way to distribute this product at scale. And then the last thing you need to do is phase three would be to measure the results. So many marketers think that just because they did some work on marketing, that that it's helping the business. When in fact that's actually not true. Most of the time, most marketing efforts generate almost no returns, or negligible value. It's what I found is that maybe 1 or 2 or 3% of your efforts actually produce like meaningful results, and 97% of the stuff does nothing. And so you need to figure out, like, did the effort generate the intended outcome. And the thing about this is the bigger and more successful your company is, the harder it is to find these crazy growth hacks that will actually grow the business, because the easier ideas have already been thought of, and you need bigger ideas to generate um, you know meaningful growth. So it's just finding a crazy hack, finding a distribution channel for that crazy idea, and then measuring the results.
All right. So there must be some different strategies which B2B companies use and B2C companies use to scale up their businesses, right? So what are some of the key differences that a marketing strategy would be for a B2B company or B2C?
Well, in B2B, it used to be all about inbound marketing, but inbound marketing is it's really totally unscalable, it's just not very efficient if for B2B, because generally you have a specific target market in mind, like B2B, you might be selling to, like, I don't know, CMOs or something like that, and for like say you're selling a marketing product to CMOs, like it might be easier to just get a list of CMOs and have people call them, than like put up a blog and hope for that CMO to magically find your blog. Like that's kind of ridiculous. So the like in B2B, you typically have a more narrow target market of like specific businesses with certain attributes, certain size, and then you're targeting like a certain person in that organization. So that lends itself to account-based marketing, where you're just like you're just really trying to build relationships with like 1,000 you know key companies. You know what I mean? Whereas in B2C, well, that approach is not scalable. Like having account managers call individual customers when you're B2C is totally unscalable. I think that's more lends itself more to broadcast media, radio, television, billboards, like the stuff. It's a lot. It's I think digital marketers don't understand how important that stuff is, and for B2C and for local businesses. It definitely works. You know, it's super key. So, I think, one thing that's in common with B2B and B2C is brand. So like you really need to be kind of, regardless of whether you're selling to businesses or consumers, you need to be really intentional about projecting your brand. So like who you are and what makes you unique and what's your unique selling proposition and what's your guarantee and why you're better than the competition, and make sure they remember who you are and all this stuff like this, like that, the commonality. But so that's sort of the strategy. But then the tactics of how you communicate that message to the customers. It's going to be more an account based approach if you're B2B, and more of a broadcast approach if you're B2C.
Yeah. And also you can be a little bit crisper when you're selling to B2B, because they would already have a fair share of idea of what you're trying to sell them. But with B2C, you might have to engage them with information and awareness in the beginning.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah. So when it comes to scaling your business, which growth marketing technique would you prefer? Would it ensure quantity, whereas you reach a lot of people, or would you like to ensure quality, where the conversions are higher?
Yeah, that's the thing about internet marketing. I've not found a channel that delivers both quality and quantity. It's usually you choose two or three channels that bring in a lot of quantity, like I don't know, blogging and just content marketing in general. Like that's a great way to get millions of people to your site. Okay. Um, but then the problem is like 99% of these people are like not qualified, and so usually what I do is I use advertising, like remarketing or email marketing, where you can do segmentation, where you can kind of find out a little bit about these people and find out if they're a fit, in order to qualify and convert those leads. So generally it's I've given up on trying to find a channel that does both. It's just I have some channels that just bring in people, and some channels that are designed specifically for kind of qualifying and nurturing like a small percentage of those people.
Actually, recently I read somewhere that for the real estate market especially, Facebook ads, how you could create a campaign based on the interests of the audience, and how do you create, how you project your ads only to those similar interest people. That was borderline discriminating for them, because some of the people couldn't find homes. And so, do you think what could be some of the black hat strategies of paid promotions, which should be avoided, but the companies still use it?
Yeah, look, I think, well, first of all, discrimination is bad, and we need marketers need to be ethical, in their work. But I think so there was a situation where some special interest groups had a complaint against Facebook, for their discriminatory practices in the home rentals and buying industries, and so. Particularly objecting to, like, targeting people by age and by race. Um, because you can include or exclude those people. And so I think what Facebook did was they removed some of those targeting. I mean, here's the thing. Marketing is discrimination, right? Like if I'm targeting, you know, uh, you know, parents, like people with children, like I'm discriminating against the people who don't have children. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or if you're targeting, working professionals, well then we're discriminating. We're not showing the ad to people who are stay at home people. So even though that Facebook removed some of these targeting options, it's very easy to generate kind of the same result. All you need to do is find correlated interests. Okay, so like maybe you can't target I don't know, a certain ethnicity, but perhaps you could uh, find something that's correlated to that interest. Like I don't know, like this is an actual a real example. There's certain television shows, for example, are more popular with certain ethnic groups, and so you could just target the fans and lookalikes of a television show instead of saying a certain ethnicity. Or certain brands are favored by certain groups. So like it's just all you need to do is just find a correlated interest, and those it's Facebook makes it very easy to do that. And here's the thing, it doesn't even matter because um, all these ad algorithms, it's all machine learning. Okay, so ultimately the algorithm will find the people who are likely to click on this stuff. The targeting parameters that you set as an advertiser are not honored by Facebook. It's just a starting point. It's saying, like, Facebook, I would like you to find people in this audience, but they're not optimizing for just that audience that you're specifying. It also looks to see, like, among that audience, who are the people who are engaging with your content and your ads, and then it looks for other people that are similar. So like um, it's just one of these things where I think Facebook, if they were not kind of in such trouble with governments in the world, that they might have fought back and said this is ridiculous. But because they're in so much trouble, they just kind of caved in and removed some targeting options. You see what I'm saying?
True. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I understand. Yeah, because it's always, you need to find one way or the other to bring your brand forward to the people, and sometimes it can. I mean, social media itself is a little bit invasive, but it's invasion. It's an invasion by choice. So you signed up for it. So it's. I mean, you should be prepared. There could be some repercussions of you sharing your life to the world. So yeah.
People just love sharing their life to the world. So I think their business model is great. Um,
So you have a lot of engagement on your post, like you said. And what do you believe that creating such engagement or creating such a niche community, does it ensure brand loyalty to you? Or would innovation and the experiments and the new content that you supply each day, every day, would be sufficient for you to keep the audience engaging and get new potential audiences as well?
so what we found is that uh, people are 3 to 5 times more likely, like 3 to 5 times more likely to buy your stuff as opposed to choosing a competitor if they've kind of heard of you and have positive feelings towards your company. Okay, so um, you know, innovation can certainly help. Like having a really cool, innovative product. I mean, yeah, that can certainly make a big deal. But also like brand affinity, the kind of the familiarity with your brand has an enormous impact on click-through rates and conversion rates. People are 3 to 5 times more likely to click on your content if they've heard of you than versus if they haven't heard of you. Okay, so like think about all these growth channels like SEO and advertising and display ads and social media. Like these are all machine learning algorithms that optimize for engagement. So like it's really hard to grow a business without kind of a community or like a brand presence, like a lot of people who feel great about your products and services. I can give you one example. My new company, Mobile Monkey, it has a Facebook group. Okay, it has almost 25,000 people, and uh, it's like 30, 40, 50% engagement rate. Like, so people are like really engaged, and they really want to talk about chatbots and how to grow. And I think this is a really important element of the success of the company. It's sort of the not it's the combination of our unique technologies and innovations with this amazing community. You see what I'm saying?
Right. So, Larry, there is also one section where we talk about the untold story, something which the internet doesn't know yet. So, it could be a client story, or it could be a personal struggle while you are a part of WordStream or Mobile Monkey, or your inspiration, your personal inspiration.
Sure. Um, my inspiration is my mom. Okay, so when I was, she moved to Canada from Korea. In her 30s, she didn't speak English. And you know, she became a piano teacher. Okay, and so she was just teaching students piano lessons. But everything I needed to learn about marketing and business, I learned from my mom. So like, I just give you a couple examples. Like for marketing, she would live in a house that was like right next to a school. Okay, right? Because where are the children? They're near the schools. Like that's kind of like, I mean, that was like a growth marketing hack from the 1980s. Okay, like before the internet. So I thought that was very clever. I thought she would get students by putting announcements in the school bulletins or in the church bulletins. Same thing. Like I learned a lot about marketing out, and I learned a lot about brand. Like one of the things she said to me was like, um, you don't want to be you want to be the most expensive piano teacher, because if you if you charge so little, then you're going to get all these terrible students who aren't committed to aren't committed to learning piano, and it's going to be very, very hard, and they're not going to stay around for very long, and it's going to be very frustrating. So like if you're doing internet marketing, it's the same idea. Like if you're doing, like, you want big clients that you want to charge a lot of money, and you want to have a reputation and a brand for being the best. So like just all sorts of crazy marketing strategies from my mom when I was 5. I think that if you're a parent, you should definitely encourage your kids to like not think about like having to work for a company, that you can be self-employed, and it's totally normal to not work for a company, but just create a company and employ people instead. So that was a lot of interesting lessons and inspiration from that, I don't think I've shared that before.
So I think after hearing this story and this podcast, our viewers are going to start loving unicorns all over again and start believing in them better and start learning at home, basically.
Yeah, you have unicorns. Like if you look at your blog content, like some of those articles are going to be doing 10 or 100 times better than the other articles. And so all I'm saying is you just need to find those unicorns, like the ones that did really well, and do more of them. Just like just and you don't have to be super original. You can just like copy the idea. So for example, if I have a really great article that's doing well, I will turn it into into an infographic, or I'll turn it into a video or something like this. Like just repurpose the same winning idea, because the reason why I did so well was because it was a great idea. You know, you should just get the most out of the great ideas that you have.
Okay. Thank you so much, Larry, for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Awesome. Thanks again, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah.